Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and for this video I want to make a continuation talking about the bad name or reputation that online dating has gotten. But for this video, I specifically want to talk about making your profile for online dating. So I'm not going to physically show you and give you a walkthrough like that, but just talk to you and help you think both of the decisions that you make with the guys that you choose, as well as the information that you give guys. So first things first, I want to start off with you as the woman. Please keep in mind, this is not to blame you or accuse women of being at fault, but I do believe that you also have to take accountability for the trash guys that you do meet when you date online. So first, we have to start with ourselves. If you're trying to date and or meet someone seriously, it's really important that you don't fill this out in your profile. Unfortunately, guys are not stupid. If you tell a guy everything that you want, everything that you're looking for, they will trick you. They will pretend to be these things to get in your pants. That's the first thing. So, with that said, you want your profile to give a good idea about your likes, your interests, and basically make it clear that you're not looking for casual sex, you're not into hooking up, whatever. This will deter most guys that have negative motives from talking to you, because they want a girl that they can, weed out the bad guys. Because these bad guys, they're looking for a girl they can just have a one-night stand with, or someone that they can woo over by pretending to be interested in being their boyfriend. And by you saying, oh, I'm looking for Prince Charming, I really want to get married in 1 year, sure, you could find a guy that's serious about you and that does, want these same things. But the reality is, you're probably going to end up getting bamboozled by a lot of these guys that are lying to you before you meet that guy that is serious about you. So I also want to put a little disclaimer. This is obviously my own personal advice, personal opinion. I am not God. Everyone's situation is different, but I'm telling you what generally works for most people, in my opinion. So aside from that, filling out your profile, so you're talking about your hobbies, what you like, maybe some things you don't like. For example, maybe you're not interested in smokers, you don't want to be with somebody that drinks heavily, religious beliefs could be something too. You want to make all of these things clear. Generally, the longer a girl's profile is, the less likely you are going to be to attract fuckboys, and you would generally be able to spot a fuckboy based on the message that they send to you in response to your profile. I will get to that later, hopefully, if I can remember it. So, anyway, aside from writing your physical profile, you want to consider the pictures that you have posted. You want to have pictures in which you look, beautiful. So, both pictures of yourself, made up, maybe in some natural settings, etc., showing what you really look like. And I'm not talking about your most busted picture of you when you just got up out of bed, but I mean, it can be a picture of you, on your way to work, a picture of you about to go out with your girls, etc. So just pictures showing that you are beautiful. You want him to obviously see the good side of you as well. Aside from that, you also want to think about the guys. So you don't want to have pictures in which you are overly sexualized. So for example, a picture of you wearing skimpy clothing, probably not a good idea for you to put on, your social, dating sites, etc. Because again, guys will quickly, unfortunately, it's not fair, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm telling you, being real with you, they will look at these pictures and think, oh my god, whore, I want to fuck her, she's hot, and they will send you a message. I know from personal experience. And with that said, you're not going to have a good quality of men. A lot of the guys that talk to you, they're probably going to be hot, I won't lie. You're probably going to want to have sex with them too. But the reality is, if you're looking for someone that's going to marry you, someone that's going to date you seriously long term, that's not going to be cheating on you, you're probably not going to get this if all of your pictures are of you in lingerie on your dating profile. So I would personally avoid any pictures in which you're wearing revealing clothes. Also keep in mind, girls, what you consider as revealing or modest is different depending on your culture. For example, where I'm at, this is modest. If you're wearing anything that shows below what this is right now, your outfit is probably not modest. Anything that shows your neckline, down low, cleavage, anything like that, no. Not appropriate where I am. Shoulders shouldn't be shown, back, etc. Do people do it? Yes. But again, you're lessening your chances of meeting people that are serious about you. And for that reason, I wouldn't do that. Do some research on the culture of the place that you're in. Try to respect it and dress accordingly online. Aside from that, you really want to be careful with how you reply to guys' messages. So a really big mistake that I see a lot of girls fall for, once again, I believe I said this earlier, which is taking the bait. Guys will commonly ask you what you're looking for, what are you here for, and while some can be asking this out of total innocence, it's oftentimes their trick way of pretending to want and or be looking for whatever it is that you are, so that they can have sex with you. These people just want to take advantage of you. And don't get me wrong, some guys are smart enough to play the game quite well. They will literally go on multiple dates with you. They will convince you that they really want to marry you, want to be your boyfriend, just seem too pushy, too fast, and you will quickly realize that after you have sex with them, these guys are nowhere to be found, or they slowly ghost you. They start replying slower, they're busy all of a sudden, they don't want to see you, you're blocked, whatever the case might be. And for that reason, I would avoid expressing what you want. If it has to do with, you being serious, you want in a long-term relationship, I would instead say, not sure, or simply say, just looking for platonic friends, whatever. If this guy is authentic, really loves you, really likes you, he will try to pursue you anyway. I can almost guarantee you that if this guy is a fuckboy, the moment that you make it really clear that, you're just looking for friends and are upfront with the fact that you're not going to be sleeping around with this guy, he is either going to directly say that he wants to have sex with you, or he will simply not respond anymore. And generally, you will get the first one. He'll just be upfront, be like, oh, such a shame. I wanted to have sex, or I wanted to hook up, or why not? Why don't you like sex? You don't like sex? So whatever the case might be. So again, depending on where you are, different country, different culture, you'll get a different response. But I'm telling you based on where I am in Japan with online dating here. So, take that as you will. The next thing is, beyond that, I think a lot of people also get too serious too fast. It's really important to keep your options open and continue to date after you date. So don't go on a date with one guy and think, oh my god, he's my boyfriend, he's the one. Until he makes it official with you, you are single. Continue to date other guys. And most importantly, make it very clear that, you have long-term plans. And you're looking for someone serious after you get to know someone. So don't go on your first date and say, yeah, I want to get married next year, I want to have 6 kids, whatever. Some guys will be okay with that. But the reality is, you'll either scare away the right guy, or you will simply have, a wolf in sheep's clothing that will play along with you, pretend to want these things, get it from you, and then, leave, be gone. You don't want that. So be very careful with what you share during your dates. I would wait until you've been dating for at least, a month or two or more before hinting to the fact that, you want other things. And to avoid making it an entire waste of a month, I will continue to talk to and date other people. So this way you're meeting more than one person at a time. My next tip, which I think is really controversial, people have different opinions on this, but I'm telling you from experience what I recommend doing. I do not recommend having sex with the person that you are dating casually until you've gone on several dates. Not even just the 3 dates, I mean several dates. And only if you are 100% sure that this person is safe, STD free, use a condom, and on top of that, if I were you, I would avoid oral sex as well. I feel like both of these things are 2 really big things that can save you a lot of time, a lot of heartbreak, and kind of let you know what a guy is thinking, where his mind is. If the guy that you're with cannot handle the fact that you're not willing to have sex with him right away, he's probably not serious about you. If he is adamant that you have oral sex with him, or he makes it very clear that he doesn't want to reciprocate that, he's not serious about you. And I would save myself a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of heartbreak, and leave. Be happy that you didn't waste more time with this person. I feel like a lot of girls don't realize that guys, again, they're not stupid. They will date multiple girls, tell them the same thing, and for them, it's worth it to pay that $20 for, you all's little date night meal, in return get a blowjob. And I feel like a lot of girls don't realize that they're being used because they're like, oh, we go on a date and we see each other once a week. And it's like, yeah, how many times have you seen these other girls? So really look out for yourself and don't be really fast to have sex. And I hate to say that because I know it's sexist, it's whatever, it's unfair. I say this as a girl that personally loves sex. I love having sex. I like being with my boyfriend. But the reality is, unfortunately, if you give yourself away to these people so fast, for starts, it's risky for you and really them too. But on top of that, you're putting your heart out there. And let's be real, for most girls, it's hard to separate sex from love. When we have sex with someone, we love them. We start to love them. We start to care about them. It releases hormones, and it's difficult to handle that. And I think that has a lot to do with why online dating, or men in general, have such a bad rep. Girls find the cute guy, the hot guy, they have sex with him, he's using them, then their heart is broken, they're attached, they can't move on because they love this guy, because unfortunately they had sex early on, they thought he was serious about them, etc. So really give yourself a chance to get to know your partner, and I promise you, if they're serious about you, they will tell you that they don't want sex at times, or that, all of your dates don't have to, lead to sex. It doesn't have to be based around that. And that's what you want to hear. So again, be very careful what you share with guys early on in a relationship. Be careful with the pictures that you choose to post on your dating profile. Be careful with the information that you share. Make it really open. Just talk about your hobbies, what you like, some of your dislikes, and make it really clear that, you're not interested in hooking up. So again, you'll have people that will contact you that will want to date you anyway and think they can change your mind, but you have to put your foot down. Even if you have sexual urges yourself, I know I do too, but you have to do this for yourself. You have to protect your own heart and your own physical and sexual health and well-being. If you just have sex with anyone that says they want to be in a long-term relationship with you, you're risking contracting something or even getting pregnant. And if the guy you were with were smart, they would realize that too. So always use protection, of course, as always. And if I were you, I would avoid doing personal things, like more personal things, I should say, like having, oral sex. I feel like that's something that should be saved for a legitimate, stable, long-term boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So again, there's exceptions to every rule. You're gonna have to meet some bad guys. You have to expect that when you go into dating. I think people have this idea that they're gonna meet the perfect guy right away. He's not gonna have any flaws, no problems, have everything perfect going on for him, have a 6-figure salary, be 6 feet tall, just be this romantic gentleman type guy. And when they don't meet that guy after their 10th date, they're like, oh my god, I'm done. So you can't be like that. You can't be a quitter. You can't give up easily. You have to be someone that's strong. You have to be smart. And the more people you date, the more people that you exchange messages with, the quicker you'll be able to, see what type of person that you want to talk to, what type of person you want to be with. Your standards will change. Your wants in a relationship will change over time. And I also want to talk about appearance. So I feel like a lot of girls, again, very, very opinionated, very, very controversial opinion. This is my video. I'm telling you what I think, what I look for. I personally avoid people that look like they don't have a job. I've said this before in several different videos, but for me, I don't believe in struggle love, and I've personally noticed that when I've dated people that don't have money, that are working a retail job, etc., their maturity tends to be lower, they're stingy, they're frugal, they are normally players, ironically, and on top of that, they also can sometimes, I feel like they're more likely to be using you for free, quick, and or easy sex. So if I were you, I'm not saying that, you can't date a guy just because of where he works, but I am saying you should consider their physical appearance. For me, personally, I do care about where the person I'm dating works. I personally have a career as a teacher. I expect my man to be my age or older, and thus you've had time to go to school, to graduate. If you don't have a career, I want you to be doing something with your life, working towards getting that. And if you're not, for me, I can't date someone like that. So that's my own personal opinion, what I want. But what I'm getting at is, if I were you, I would consider their, appearance. Generally speaking, a guy that looks rough, that looks dirty, looks bummy, looks like, he sits at home and plays video games all day. He probably does. And being real, I'm a gamer myself. Being real, these type of guys, in most cases, they're not looking for anything serious. this dude is looking for sex. It's always the guy with, the tattoos on his arm, the cigarette in his mouth, whatever, the crazy hair color, etc., that, will contact you. And I, from personal experience, I'm not saying every guy is bad. I'm telling you what I think. I have never gone on a date with one of these guys where it ever led to something serious. It's always very quickly they show their true colors. They just want to have sex. And that's cool, but I'm not for that. So I'm not going to waste my time responding to someone like that. So again, you'll start to see a pattern with people when they send you messages. Another thing too is thinking about what they're sending you when they first contact you. Is their message quickly talking about your body? Do you have a fat ass? What size bra do you wear? Etc. Can you twerk? Can you do this? Do you like dick? You would be an idiot if you think this guy is serious about you. I promise you. No man that wants to marry you is going to ask you these questions within his first 10 or 20 messages. It just doesn't happen. It's inappropriate. Another thing to keep in mind is answering questions such as, what's your career, or where do you live, etc. Those are personal and identifying things. You can come across crazy people that will either try to stalk you, hunt you down, which that's the more rare case being here in Japan. But the reality is a lot of guys are using this to gauge whether or not you can pay for the hotel or the date, or, go half with them, etc. They also want to try to save money. So by you saying that you live alone or saying that you live close by, they're like, oh, I don't have to get a hotel. She's only a couple blocks away. I can go to her house, fuck her, and leave. Or, oh, she's a doctor. Okay, well, I can pretend like I left my wallet at home and she'll pay for our meal. So really think these things through. I personally don't answer these questions. And I also find it a bit of a turnoff. Again, old-fashioned, and also cultural difference being in Japan. I feel put off when a guy asks me what my career is, and it's not because I don't have one. I do have a job, but at the same time, you're the man. I should be asking you what your career is, not you asking me. So it's cool if we've already started talking, we've gotten to know each other a little bit, but for that to be your first message, where do you live? Where do you work? Why does it matter? So are you paying my bills? So again, don't do that. And also, another really quick telltale sign, if the guy is trying to meet you at your house, I've talked about this in my, spotting, my video on, 20 ways or 25 ways to tell, if you're talking to a fuckboy, but if he's trying to date you at your house, or he wants to go to some, really cheap, sleazy place for a first date, more than likely this guy is not serious about you. He isn't someone that you're going to end up dating long term. He's trying to get to know you, but really he wants to get to fuck you. So just be really, really careful with what you share with these guys. And I definitely would not let someone come to my house, my own personal place, at least until we've been dating for a month or two. It definitely should not be something done within the first few dates. And keep in mind that it doesn't matter if you've been dating for 2 months if this guy only talks to you once a week. For me, you have to consider how often you communicate, how often you see each other. If your relationship is, barely any contact, I feel like you need to up the length of time that you spend before you decide to be intimate with someone, or before you decide to share personal things about your background, about, your history, your job, things like that. They don't need to know all of that. So again, women, I know that, we're nurturing, we're caring, we're vulnerable, we can be desperate. We want to get into a relationship, we want to get married right now. But the reality is, unfortunately, by being so open, by being so soft, by being so nice, you are going to be sending out an invitation to lots of bad guys. And you don't want that. I don't want that for you. So for that reason, I'm telling you what legitimately works. And I'm telling you to be, on guard. You want to protect yourself. And so this isn't to scare you. This isn't to make all men out to be bad or make you feel bad for wanting things or having standards. But instead, to just let you know, continue to use these apps, but also slow down. You don't have to reply to every message. You don't have to date every guy that says that he loves you. You don't have to have sex with every guy that says that he loves you. You don't have to do these things. And you shouldn't. And I think a lot of girls get to the point where they lie to themselves and they say, oh, like, I'm doing this for me. But you'll find that girls that run around just having sex, just using Tinder, to fuck as many guys as they can, they have mental problems. They need help. And I'm not saying this to attack them, but rather it's the truth. They are trying to cover up pain that they have inside. They're hurting from other things, and they're handling it in an unhealthy way through having sex. And it's not good for you. It's not going to work. Because you will still feel lonely. And these guys are going to leave you and use you. And that feels a lot worse than any pain that you could possibly have or that you might be harboring from past relationships or, your family, etc. So really think these things through and be real with yourself. Do you really want to have sex? Or do you really hope that by having sex, he'll love this so much, he'll think, oh my God, her, whatever, it was so good that he's going to stay and want to be serious with you. And I think that's the truth for most people. And the last thing that I want to say before I wrap up this video, to kind of go back, really have standards for yourself. Have standards. And never let anyone tell you that your standards are too high. If you want a man that is established, has himself together, you can get that. Don't let these broke men tell you, oh, you can't get this, you're a gold digger, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Don't let them talk you out of your wants because they can't afford you. Don't let someone that's short tell you that you can't find a guy that's tall because you're fat, because you're this, because you're whatever. Everyone has their own wants in a relationship, their own likes, their own dislikes. And no matter what you look like, you can find these things if you're willing to look and willing to work for them. It doesn't hurt to work on yourself too, but don't lose sight of your standards and become desperate and let your want for getting married, your want for having a boyfriend, make you do things that you would have otherwise never considered doing. And that includes being intimate with people that you don't want to be, as well as spending money that you don't have. Guys are not stupid. They will take advantage of you if you show them that you're willing to spend money on them. They will take advantage of you if you show them that you're easy and you're willing to have sex early on. Is it fair? Is it right to women? No. That's not what I'm saying. But the reality is, this is the world that we live in. It's life. I hope it changes someday. But for the time being, you can't use the, I want to change that. I want to change the way this is seen thing. Unless you're willing to be a guinea pig, because by you trying to reinvent the wheel and trying to change the perception of these things, you're risking getting pregnant. You're risking getting the STD. It's a really dangerous thing to play a numbers game with guys. The only numbers game you should play is to continue to date people. But I wouldn't take it as far as to continue to buy gifts, to continue to have sex until you meet the right guy. There's so many risks involved with that. So many risks. So do what you want, but again, just be really careful when you're filling out your online dating profile. You want it to not scream, I'm looking for sex. You don't want it to scream, I'm desperate for a boyfriend either, though. Because people will abuse you and take advantage of that. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. We all do that. And think about it. You might find a guy that's really hot, and he might be willing to have sex with you. Sure, anybody can get sex. As a girl, you can find sex easily, especially if you're cute. But is he going to want to settle down with you? Will he have children with you? Will he support you? Will he pay for things for you? Will he buy you gifts? Will he pay for dates? Probably not. Was it worth it to have that good sex with a guy that just ran off, used you, told all his friends? For some of you, you're okay with that. But you really shouldn't be. You should want more for yourself. Looks are not everything. Think about what you want long-term in a relationship. If your goal is to get married and or to have kids, you should consider finances. You should care about an education, about a career history. These things should matter to you, and it's okay to want someone that has what you have or more. Don't let people talk you out of dating online because it didn't work for them, because they're a quitter, because they gave up. They are not you. It might take years to find the one that you're looking for. But you have to tell yourself those years are going to pass, whether you actively look for a boyfriend or a husband, or whether you sit on your ass and do nothing. So you can choose. Do you want to sit on your ass and do nothing and risk having a 99.9% chance of never getting married, never finding the one? Or do you want to actively look for someone that you want to be married to? People might approach you in your everyday life, but are these men that you want to date? Are they boyfriend material to you? Probably not. It's also okay to take a break. Sometimes we have very stressful situations with online dating and we just can't handle it right now. We don't want to meet someone else, and that's fine. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't push yourself past your limits. It's okay to know when to stop. That's fine. But my point is, give everything a chance. And don't put all the blame on an app or on a gender. All men are not bad, just like all apps are not bad. Sometimes we have to take accountability. When I look back on guys that I've dated, I realize I could have avoided having that argument. I could have avoided having that fight if I simply saw the red flags right away. That guy shouldn't have been asking me my bra size. This guy shouldn't have been asking me if I lived alone. Just little things like that. Those are mistakes that I made. And I can take accountability for that. I ignored some things that I felt were weird. There's many more things I can add to things that I've ignored in the past. And that's okay. You learn and you grow from them. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would please give me a like and leave a comment down below. If you have any advice for girls for dating online in Japan, please leave a comment as well. Leave it down below. Maybe you can help someone else out. If you have some questions, I'll try my best to answer them in the comments. Other than that, I would appreciate it if you would also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I have a Snapchat. You can add me there, and you can also like my Facebook fan page as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.